Let's consider the word quam. Quam is a very common word in Latin, and it always means something small in English, something small but key, and it's going to change its meaning depending on the context. So today, we're looking especially at adjectives and adverbs. Most of what I'm describing is in your textbook on page 92 and 91. This is page 92, so I'm actually going to start with number 5 on 92, then do number 3 on page 92, and then move to page 91. Feel free to pause the video, grab your textbook, and join me because I'm going to move off of these pages right now, and also they're a little bit blurry. So here we go. There's page 91. Magistra Madden est femina bona, quam in hoc pictura video. That is number 5. Miss Madden is a good lady whom or that I see in this picture. Quam is a relative pronoun. It's a form of qui quod. It's in the accusative singular feminine. Its antecedent is right, Miss Madden or femina bona. So the antecedent is singular feminine. Miss Madden and femina bona are both nominative with the linking verb est, but quam is the accusative. So it agrees with its antecedent in number and gender, but its case depends on how it's used in its own clause as the direct object of video. Here's number 3 on page 92. Quam bonus est Magister Moody. How good Mr. Moody is. Look at him. He's always in the cafeteria. He's always got his key with him if I need to borrow it. He's always wearing an ironed shirt and a tie every day. He looks right at me. He always listens to what I have to say. He never interrupts me. He acts interested whether he is or not, and he gives me a polite answer. There's a quam exclamation point. How good he is. But here we have page 91, number 1. Magistra Madden est brevior quam Magister Moody. We did many examples like this in class. We're no longer using altior for taller. We're using brevior. Miss Madden is shorter than Mr. Moody. She doesn't mind that. I asked her permission, and she said I could use that picture to explain this point. Ecce, magistram Madden breviorum quam magistram Moody. When we say ecce, then we say something in the accusative after it, because we're saying look, and then what we see is in the accusative as it's an object. That's what happens when we're saying look at something. Look, and then the object. Ecce, magistram Madden breviorem quam magistram Moody. Everything in the accusative. So the rule for that, actually, is that anything being compared on either side of quam is in the same case, whatever case it may be. For example, I could reach out and show this picture to Miss Madden and Mr. Moody, as I did right after I took it, ask them if it were okay, and I could say, I am showing a picture to dative magistri Madden, breviori dative, quam magistro dative Moody. Also, please notice that breviorem in the comparative degree is which declension? Correct. It's third. And we will decline a comparative adjective with a noun on your exam. The rule we're talking about right this minute is quam plus the comparative degree. So if we see an IOR or IUS form of an adjective or an adverb with quam, then quam means than, and the two things on either side, if it were an adjective, would be in the same case. Back to our original slide where everything's in the nominative. Magistra Madden is brevior quam Magister Moody. It's all in the nominative because est is a linking verb. Here's the second way you can say that. Magistra Madden is brevior Magistro Moody. Now, when we were doing our comparisons in class, I said them both ways. I used quam plus the same case, and I shortened it by taking the quam out and putting the second thing in the ablative. Either way is correct. I think what happens is as soon as you see the IOR with the shorter, then the rest of the sentence makes sense. You understand you're comparing something, especially if you can see exactly what you're comparing. The second thing is in the ablative, the quam drops out, and this is called the ablative of comparison. We've also seen ablative of degree of difference, so I guess we could insert a pede in there, but I didn't do it. Magister Moody altior est, hominum altiorem video. I just wanted you to see an example of when you weren't comparing something. If you were just looking at Mr. Moody, you could say, Mr. Moody is, and you would need one of your alternative meanings. And I don't think he's too tall, unless you were trying to climb through, a really small space. Maybe he's just rather tall. Hominem altiorem video. I see a rather tall man. Now, how about you join Miss Sam's? This is how we look when we go talk to each other in between classes. And here's the kind of thing I would say, except that I might say it in French or in English. But to you, I'll recapture our conversation in Latin. Bonum ne est pueris puellisque per hoc edificium ambulare sine tunicis bene impositis? Bonum ne est pueris puellisque per hoc edificium ambulare sine tunicis bene impositis? Minime, says Miss Sams. And what are we talking about? Is it a good thing? Pueris puellisque? Ah, yes, but no preposition. People in the ablative always are in a preposition, and pueris and puellis are people, so they must be the dative. Is it a good thing to or for whom? For boys and girls? Is it a good thing for boys and girls to walk through this building without their shirts having been put in well? And what does Miss Sam say? Minime. No. And just so we know it, Miss Sams and I are tired of asking people to tuck their shirts in. But in terms of the grammar of our conversation, Magistra Sams brevissime respondebat, you could say. I said all that stuff. Okay. Bonum ne pueris puellisque per hoc edificium ambulare sine tunicis bene impositis? Minime. Miss Sams was answering very briefly. Now, in reality, she usually has a little bit more to say. But we could also say Miss Sams was answering quam brevissime. When you see quam with the superlative adverb, it means as blankly as possible, as briefly as possible. No. There it is. Quam plus the superlative adverb. E to the base of a 212 makes it very briefly. And then quam brevissime assumes a form of possum that actually drops out. As briefly as she is able. Quam plus the superlative adverb as blankly as possible. And there will be at least one question out of the possible 300 or 400 points. At least 2 to possibly even 4 of them might involve quam plus a superlative adverb. So you may either take notes now or ask a question in class, or here is another possibility. I would like to suggest that you prepare one of these sentences and bring it to class tomorrow and volunteer. If you're not able to do that, that's fine. But for those of you who are able, we would love to hear from you. If you are looking up words and you don't have your book, the best way to look them up online, and you are allowed to look up one word at a time, is William Whitaker's Words on Notre Dame. Of course, in French, that's Notre Dame, and Whitaker spelled Whitaker, and you may look up one word at a time on that online lexicon. Of course, we don't use any translation possibilities when you are asking it to translate a whole sentence, and we also know that Google Translate does a terrible job. All right, see you tomorrow. Thank you.